Okay, what are we looking at?
Connecting.
43 miles per hour, adjustable foot plates, 3 pedal hangers, lowest rung feels planted to the ground. Adaptive headlight, full beam readout is 201 lux.
Systems operational.
The light angle is barely aimed at the floor.
Disconnecting.
Enter coordinates for erides HQ. I'm on my way to erides now. What did I think of it? Well, how much detail are you after? It's heavier than the V11, and I can't help but think it's a year too late. But, and with everything there is a but, when it moves, it glides, and it is so much fun to ride. Inmotion have tried hard to impress and create a product that is all things to all men, but unlike the Apostle Paul who coined the phrase, they've actually ended up with a curate's egg, something good in parts and lacking in others. Welcome to the Creative Nomad channel. I'm Danielle Noel, and on this side of the internet you'll find content all about nerdmobiles. And this one is all about the Inmotion V12. Thanks to erides, I've ridden it down the streets and taken it up mountains. So let's get into the pros and cons. And of course, if you're new here, be sure to tilt back on the like button, then join the ride and subscribe. But back to the Inmotion V12, beginning with a little history. Based in Shenzhen, China, Inmotion Global, developers of personal electric vehicles, have recently engineered their 6th electric unicycle, the V12. When I heard they had yet again gone the banal route of calling it something that began with V, I thought, they really have a fascination with Vs. And yes, they do, for good reason. Similar to its predecessors, the V5 through to V11, the V12 takes its name from a line of cylinder-piston engines manufactured at the turn of the 20th century, all arranged in a V configuration, used in luxury cars like Rolls-Royce and Formula One. It was a powerhouse, hence Inmotion's foray into the 100-volt spectrum, and continuing their eponymous naming, the V12 entered the arena. It's worth noting the V12 engines gradually replaced the V10, so as an Easter egg, Inmotion might be hinting that the company's changing direction. After all, who doesn't like more range and speed? And with the V8F having near comparable specs to the V10, we may see the latter become redundant quite soon. Are my investigative speculations off the mark? Time will tell. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Physically speaking, beginners can rest assured that this is their most robust wheel to date. 10 socket screws to remove the outer shell. These are much more durable and efficient than the inexpensive wood screws one of their leading competitors use. Although it does seem easy to strip the thread, specifically on the pedal hangers. Shell thickness, 8mm at the side, 13 at the bottom, indicating it's less likely to crack doing tricks downstairs or curbs, but a collision where it falls on its side would be a different matter. But forget crashes and collisions, how does it ride? Once moving, you immediately feel like it has a lot to give, and the natural reaction is push it faster. Combined with smooth roads, it glides along Sherman-esque style. Now, I'm pretty sure my fastest top speed of 35 miles per hour is slow for many of you riders out there, and I have no shame in saying I'm 100% sure I'll never skim its advertised top speed of 43 miles per hour, so I can't talk about tiltback. However, my concern is it will appeal to the novice being 16 inches, thus more manageable. But once they've mastered the mechanics of how to ride, very soon their confidence will supersede their competence, and they'll forget the faster you go, the less reaction time you have. Now here's where common sense coupled with the latest EUC invention would serve great benefits to ensure your precious EUC investment rides another day. The U-Rail. If you haven't heard of it before, it's customizable to any electric unicycle, including the V12. Should one get into an accident, whether at high or low speeds, the rail is engineered as an aftermarket product to take the brunt of the impact. Invented by Ustride, a modern Granville T. Woods, the U-Rail is currently available through the United States, and there's a link in the description to place an order. Of course, being an EUC erudite, Ustride understands all about optimum riding stances, should you choose to go fast. So here's some pointers from him.
According to one of my previous videos, Riding Styles Explained, I think it's very important for new riders to understand various riding styles in order to adapt to different types of EUCs and different riding terrains. So, for example, when seeking speed, I would suggest the Explorer stance. Knees bent, 1 foot further back on the footplate, arms loose to help circumvent unexpected obstacles, and most importantly, avoid overleaning because this highly impacts balance, and it prevents you from reacting quickly in the event that you're about to hit an obstacle.
One of the things I really like about the V12 is the ergonomics. When you're riding it, it feels a lot bigger than a 16-inch wheel. But any unexpected bumps will quickly remind you that it isn't. I remember riding around in my local park and it was filled with so many ruts, and I felt every single one of them. Not to the point where I felt I'd fall off or be unable to ride, but in the back of my mind I kept thinking, these small bumps aren't as pronounced as when I ride the Sherman or any of my suspension wheels. So, who's the V12 for? If you've never owned an electric unicycle before, then this is a strong contender for your first wheel. Like with any other EUC, I suggest to try before you buy. If you're near London, erides regularly holds group rides where you can receive a tutorial at no cost to learn how to ride, and I'm sure Afiz and Emily will answer all of your questions. If you do want to jump straight in and purchase, a discount code is in the description for 5% off. Hands down, this is a wheel you can grow with. Within 8 months of buying the V10, I needed more range and speed. You definitely won't say this with the V12. It's extremely enjoyable to ride. Given the ideal road surfaces, it's a wheel you don't want to get off. You can personalize it more than any other wheel on the market through acceleration and braking configurations. But, and with everything, there is a but. In spite of having access to this wheel for months, thanks again, erides, there's a reason why I've been dragging my feet to get this video out. And it's because I'm struggling to get excited about this wheel, mainly because of one glaring reason.
Please get up, please prepare.
Electric unicycle manufacturers and distributors have a very difficult job. Not only do they have to convert existing EUC riders from their competitors, but they also have to convince people with no prior knowledge of EUCs into purchasing a high-cost item. As much as Inmotion and its competitors seek to foster community through their social media groups, at its core, it is a business, and so seeks to make profit. And by no means is that said in a disparaging way. They should seek to make a profit, or we wouldn't have these products that we like. But what you just saw is a classic example of what happens when a product is released with aims of making a profit and does the opposite, with high repair rates, malfunctions, replacements, and recalls. So what do you do as a business when one product isn't performing as well as you'd like? You assess the competition and get to work. What's your best-selling electric unicycle for experienced riders? The Gotways and the Sherman. The MSX or the MSPs. The Nikola. And then you notice there's a common denominator. So they remove the problem that was supposed to be a solution. Then imitate design. And end up with a product that tries and fails to be all things to all men. Some may think I'm being extremely harsh, but personally, here is where I stand. I struggle to celebrate the achievements of a new wheel when the evidence is palpable that there is an existing product with integral flaws, and Inmotion's lack of public communication over the remedial action they have taken or seek to take is extremely discouraging. Does this mean that the V12 is a bad product or Inmotion are a terrible company? No, that isn't what I'm saying. I want them to succeed, to continue to innovate and create products that benefit this community. And I hope they see this and are encouraged to explore ways to improve upon their customer relations and communications. So, in conclusion, based upon everything I've said, I rate the V12 6.9 out of 10. This is an evolutionary wheel with some revolutionary features that will eventually become commonplace. I'm pleased that Inmotion have stepped into the 100-volt sphere. It's comfortable to ride, has innovative features, solid engineering, great range and handling, but it loses points from being too heavy for a 16-inch wheel. Its appearance is a big deal breaker for me, and size matters. A 16-inch wheel lacks stability, thus holds minimal appeal to many riders who already own other wheels. Although I wouldn't purchase it, it's still the best 16-inch wheel on the market for new riders, so I'd recommend it. If you have any questions about the V12, make sure to get in contact with Erides, and I'm sure they will answer all your questions. See you next time.